Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Vienna Ortiz. I am your business and planning coach and strategist, and I'm super excited to be here for this video. So for this video, I am actually going to share with you how I am using 6 different planners this year, or even this first quarter, and also a couple of notebooks. So throughout that time, I will be sharing with you exactly what I'm using, as well as some tips and tricks as to how you can use multiple planners and get away with it. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So there's this misconception that you cannot use multiple planners because it becomes very confusing. And I would like to say that I do not fall under that category. I sometimes find myself in certain seasons of life using one planner, and in other seasons of life I use multiple planners, and this current season of my life I find myself using multiple. So the first kind of category that I want to jump into is just my personal kind of catch-all planner. And normally I would be using a personal size Malden or some sort of ringed personal size planner. But in the last year or so, I found that I'm really gravitating towards an A5. And if you're not familiar with what that is, an A5 is just kind of like almost a half letter size planner. So that's quite a bit of a jump. There actually are planners that are kind of in between these types of planners, but I've been really loving the A5, and I can do a walkthrough of this in a separate video. But essentially, I am using this A5 as my catch-all family, personal, everything planner. And again, I won't get into detail about like what inserts I'm using or anything like that. I am using a Moxie Life right now, inserts, like the inserts from Moxie Life, but I also like to interchange them in between like a cloth and paper insert as well, which I actually have on the way to me. So the reason why I chose an A5 is simply because I did like the extra room that it was giving me. I think at first I wanted to make everything in one planner, which I'm actually not doing right now, but I still like the size. So what I use this for is for daily appointments, anything personal, anything that is going on with my daughter or my husband, or vacations or birthdays or things like that. And I find that I am more of a girl who likes to use weekly inserts when it comes to something this big, and not so much daily. But I can get into that in another video. But this is what I'm using for my personal kind of catch-all life situation. Now, moving into business stuff, I do run a couple areas of like business related things. And so I wanted something that I could just keep, to-dos all in one place, appointments all in one place. And that's what this cloth and paper, like A5 size spiral is for. I really love it. I think it's a great size. And as you can see here, I essentially use it for, a lot of just appointments. And so it's not 100% full of a lot of different things. This is what the inside looks like here. But I do love it for that reason, because it's very only for one thing. Like, it's a very specific, and I like that. Now, along with this, because this is more for like daily to-dos, weekly to-dos, appointments, things like that, I love using a notebook. Something that I can just write in really quickly, something that I can just jot things down without worrying about what's going in there. Even to-do lists often go in here a lot, brain dumps. And so I have 2 for that. This one here is going to be used, or has started to be used. It's very new to me, but for things that are more permanent, that I need to go back and look at, hex codes, passwords, things like that. And this fringe notebook, which I love fringe notebooks so much, and I'm looking to make this a part of my kind of like regular routine. So whenever I run out of a fringe notebook, I'll get another one. But this is used for anything and everything. Writing in here, it doesn't really matter. Things that I normally probably don't have to go back and look at, because it's very much a brainstorming like situation. So that has been working great for me when it comes to business. So far we've talked about personal, and then we've talked about like business organization. Now, along with business organization, I also do like to use a lot of online platforms. So anything that's permanent, I like to use Google Docs. I like to use, right now I'm sticking my foot into Trello. And so we'll see how that goes. But, and then I use an Excel sheet, Google Excel for Google Sheets, I should say, for like content planning and things like that, which makes things really nice. So it's very much like a whole team of things that I use and planners that I use when it comes to business. Okay, so next I'm going to share with you like some self-care planners and some different types of planners that you may not have thought about using, your like reasons to use your planners that you may not have thought about that I am incorporating this year and so far have really loved. Now these planners are really no pressure planners, and what I mean by that is I have a couple of planners, the 2 planners that I use on a constant basis that are more specific to things that I need to do on a daily basis. And these planners, while some of them are things that I do on a daily basis, they're no pressure. So if I don't do it, then it's going to be okay. So this first one here, I didn't want to give up my personal Malden because I just love it so much and I wanted a way to use it. And the way that I use this is for a like self-care journaling planner. So in this planner, it's essentially just like you can see here, there's pictures, a lot of journaling goes on in here. As I like to use these inserts right here from Cloth and Paper, and it's just essentially kind of like a little junk journal slash self-care situation. And so it's a no pressure, planner that I can use when I really want to like journal or dive deep into some self-care. This next one here is a sugar paper, and it's a sugar paper like notebook bound planner. And I really liked this a lot for what I'm using it for because this first page says start each day with a grateful heart. And I thought it was just like perfect, like just screaming out at me because I wanted some place where I could daily write in my gratitude list. And so that's essentially what this is for. So this area kind of started off as a way for me to write in quotes like on the month. But again, it's no pressure, so I haven't done it since, but I'm not going to show you everything here, but as you can see, there's, each kind of entry is a new gratitude list. So this is what the planner looks like. It kind of has these sections here, and so I can write down things that I'm grateful for at the end of the day, or if I wanted to at the beginning of the day. But the goal with this is at the end of the year, I will have a ton of things throughout the year that I was grateful for on each day. So that's what I'm using this for. And keep in mind that if you want to do something like that, you don't have to have a planner specifically for it. You can put it as an insert, or you can put it as like a section in whatever planner you're using, or you can just simply write your gratitude list on your daily pages or your weekly pages. It doesn't have to be a planner all on its own. So the next one here is this is a memory keeper. And I really wanted something simple, nothing too crazy for memory keeping because I'm not good at keeping up with it. And so if I kept it simple, then I knew that I would at least like stick to it. Again, no pressure. So this is a Martha Stewart disc bound junior size planner. And I just actually got these discs from Toll and used repurposed an old planner that I was using. So in the front here are just some stickers from the Happy Planner. And then I have just been journaling in these, not journaling, but memory keeping in these weeks right here. And just using my Instax printer, or I think it's a zip printer, I'm not sure, to write in here. And we got pretty sick during these areas here, so I haven't written anything. But the goal with this is every Sunday I'll sit down and add pictures in, but every night, if I can remember, I will write down something that we did so that I can remember it going back at the end of the year, hopefully, some of the awesome memories that we have. All right, so this next planner here is new to me, and it's a new type of planner to me as well. This is very special because the owner of this planner is a friend, or at least she's somebody that went to school with me and my husband in high school, and her name is Patty, and her business is Hija de tu Madre. And I have a podcast that I recorded with her, and at this point in time, it's probably not out yet, but it should be coming out soon. So check out my podcast. Planner Talk podcast. And I really, really just loved it. And I loved her explanation as to how she was using her planner. And so this is my goals manifesting vision planner. Now, when it comes to manifestation, I'm not somebody who thinks like you can just write it down, it'll happen. But when I say manifestation, it's more of a way for me to organize my goals and what I would like to happen within my business or personal life. And so you can see you have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 up here, so that I can simply write out what it is I want to do in each quarter and each month specifically. And that way, this will really guide what I'm doing in my other planners and what I should be planning in my other planners. But also, this is really nice to just check in with myself and see how my goals are going, if I'm making progress. And it's just an entire planner that I can play with, and I don't have to take this planner so seriously, like it's just for me. And so that's all the reasons why I added this to my list this year or this quarter. Now, to be honest, my planner stack often changes over time. And I think that when people say they're going to use it for the whole year, a lot of times those people are ones that will get a planner that's for the entire year. But I, have a ring. I have all different types, right? I have spiral, coil, disc, notebook, rings. I have it all right here. And so it's kind of cool to see that some of these planners I'll probably be using the same way throughout the whole year, and some of them will probably change, like the contents, the insides will change. And I think when you're using multiple planners, depending on, what you're using them for, you should expect them to change and evolve as the year goes on. So have that expectation. But another tip that I have for you when it comes to using multiple planners is if you're going to have a catch-all planner, that's fantastic. That needs to be kind of like your main planner that everything goes in, and you have to make sure you have a system for that, right? So if you have a calendar, for example, if you have a calendar, and you want to track like your business and your personal life in there, do that in 2 colors. Just make sure there's some distinction in each of these planners where you can see that there's something different going on for something else. But if you're wanting to use multiple planners and you don't want to use any of them for the same thing, the key to making sure that you use them often is to make sure there's not a lot of overlap. So as you can see, my memory keeper has nothing to do with my gratitude. And I'm not putting gratitude anywhere else in my other planners besides this one here, which I mentioned is the gratitude one. And so the minute that you kind of start having like a lot of overlap is the minute you start not to need one of your planners. So I would suggest sitting down and making a list of each planner and figuring out what it is you want to plan for in each of those planners, or not necessarily even plan, but use that planner for. So as you can see, I'm not planning anything in this. It's a planner, but I'm not using it for anything but gratitude. And so that's all I would put under that list. The other one is only for memory keeping. The vision and goals one is only for goals. But see, I do have goals in my personal planner as well. And so I have to get really, really specific about what specifically about my goals am I going to write or track or do in this planner. And that might look different. That might look like talking about how I feel about my goals versus actually tracking my goals, right? So just make sure that you have that distinction. And I think that you can use as many planners as you want. Use 10, 20, and billion. Use one for Monday. Use one for Tuesday, Wednesday. As long as you know what you're using them for and they're being used for different things, then you can absolutely pull it off, right? So that is all that I'm using currently right now at the beginning of 2022, at least for the first quarter, at least for the first 3 months of the year. And then I'll reevaluate and see how it's going. And so that wraps up this video. I hope that this was helpful to you to see kind of like some ways you can use your planner, as well as, that it's possible to use multiple planners for different things. If you really, really like this and you want to work with me more, you can visit my website, which will be linked down below. I have a podcast, Planner Talk Podcast. I have a membership, Plan Like a Boss community membership, where we are learning together, achieving together, and having a lot of fun in there. So you can try it for free for 3 days. I would love to chat with you more about that. And if you visit my website, make sure to check out some of the freebies I have there. I have one for organizing or planning for the month ahead, and so you can grab that for free. Other than that, you guys, I love that you were here. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.